This story took place 10 years ago. Surendra Kala and his friend Sahit had started a toy making company. Both of them had a great fondness for children. They were always known in the market for making new and modern toys. They were the ones who introduced India's first remote controlled helicopter toy. At that time, preparations for the media hype in the company were at their peak because Surendra Kala and Sahil's company had invented a special toy. The special feature of this toy was that it was not just an ordinary toy but a means to attract children. This toy could talk to children, with all its answers stored in its database. It was seen as a kind of small robot. This toy could talk to children and play with them. It could do everything that children like to do with their friends, such as playing and talking to them. On the same day, Surendra Kala was negotiating with a toy company from America. He sold the rights of this toy of his company to the American company online without informing Sahit. The next day, the media was talking about this toy with Sahil and Surendra Kala. In the interview and launch event, they were explaining the technology of this toy in detail. The publication of this interview and launch event was happening all over the world. According to Indian time, progress was going on in the function. At the same time, news came from America, accusing theft of this toy of Sahil and Surendra Kala's company. According to the news, the patent of that toy was issued to America's top company. This had a very bad effect on Sahit, and he committed suicide. He had worked hard to make this toy. He was a professional engineer, but he could not bear this shock. Nowadays, all the property of the toy company belonged to only Surendra Kala. Sahil had been dead for 3 years now. Surendra Kala was financially quite strong. He was also married. He had refused to pay Sahil's share. One day, when he was leaving his office for home at 9 p.m., he needed to find his royalty papers so that he could keep those papers safe with him. He had promised to pay the royalty to the American company based on those papers. He started looking for those papers. All the employees had left the office, and he was taking quite some time to find those papers. Sometimes he searched for the papers on the computer table, sometimes he searched for them in all the drawers. But he was disappointed every time. He tried to find those papers every day after his office work, but every time he faced disappointment. After that, he was continuously in a state of depression. The American company was now able to break his royalty too. It was a rule of that company that whoever they give royalty to, they have to renew it every 3 years, for which they have to show the agreement papers. He now feared that he would not get the royalty now. The toys made in his company were also not selling enough to cover his household expenses. He thought that he would make such a doll by understanding the files in the save folder of the computer so that he could earn money. He decided not to go home for 2 to 3 months. He had told his decision to his wife. During these 3 months, he got a message from the American company that they would not be able to pay him the royalty now. This decision was not surprising for him because he was already aware of it. After his hard work, he got success in his work. He made that toy. Some new techniques were also used in the toy according to modern times. Surendra Kala was very happy after being successful in his test. After months of hard work, Surendra Kala was going home. His child was also waiting for him. Surendra Kala felt it appropriate to take the toy he had made for his child. Surendra Kala thought that his life would change now, and he would start living a happy life again. But little did he know that this toy would mark the beginning of a bad moment in his life. As soon as he sat in the car with the toy, strange events began to happen with him. The car suddenly ran out of petrol. The car was not starting either. The car's gates closed by themselves. He felt a chill in his spine. He could hear strange laughter coming from the toy. This laughter was causing pain in Surendra Kala's ears. He passed out. When he woke up, he found himself outside his house. His hair was standing on end. He was terrified. He ran quickly to his room with the doll. He saw his wife was scared seeing him like that, and when the child saw the doll in his hand, he also ran towards his father with small steps. Surendra Kala quickly hid the doll in the cupboard and kept the key with him. After all this happened, he immediately called the company manager and asked him to stop making that toy. The next day, he started thinking about throwing that doll into the sea. But as soon as he opened the cupboard, he was surprised. That doll was not there. He was worried. He quickly ran at a fast pace. He was looking for his child. The fear he had was happening. His child was playing with that same doll. Surendra Kala pulled the doll and took it with him. As soon as the doll came into his hands, he started laughing strangely. "You won't escape from me, Surendra Kala. You sold my hard work for a few bucks," said Sahil's voice. Surendra Kala was quite scared. He threw the doll into the sea. But despite this, Sahil's voice was still heard. This voice drove him crazy.